The Galil is a family of Israeli small arms designed by Yisrael Galil and Yaacov Lior in the late 1960s and produced by Israel Military Industries Limited of Ramat, HaSharon. The rifle design borrows heavily from the RK-62 and has a modified gas diversion system similar to the RK-62 to reduce the recoil of the rifle, making it easier to fire, especially in automatic mode. The weapon system consists of a line chambered for the intermediate 5.56 x 45 mm NATO caliber with either the M193 or SS109 ball cartridge and several models designed for use with the 7.62 x 51 mm NATO rifle round. It is named after one of its inventors, Yisrael Galil. The Galil series of weapons is in use with military and police forces in over 25 countries. There are four basic configurations of the Galil: the standard length rifle, a carbine variant known as the SAR, a compact MAR version, and an armed light machine gun. A lighter-weight version of the Galil is currently in production, called the Galil Ace. History. In the late 1950s, the Israeli Defense Forces adopted the NatanFlayer battle rifle chambered for the 7.62 x 51 mm cartridge. Two models were fielded: the Aleph individual weapon and the Beth squad automatic weapon. It first saw major combat with the Israelis during the Six-Day War in 1967. Although Israel won decisive victories, the FAL showed its limitations in IDF service. The common complaint was that the sand and dusty conditions caused the weapons malfunction, but this was later attributed to the lack of maintenance given by IDF conscripts. Furthermore, it was a long and bulky weapon. Its length and malfunctions became so much of an issue that, during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, some soldiers armed themselves with an Uzi submachine gun with an extended barrel. During the Six-Day War, the Israelis captured thousands of AK-47 assault rifles and evaluated them. The rifle proved far more reliable and controllable than the FAL, and the required maintenance was low enough so that the conscripted troops would not require more stringent regulations of the weapon's care. Because of this, the IDF began the process of procuring a new automatic rifle that would offer the same benefits of low maintenance as the AK-47 but with the accuracy of the M16 and FAL. Several weapons were submitted for the lucrative deal of becoming the Israeli Army's standard DISI assault rifle. America offered the M16A1 and Stoner 63 series and Germany offered the HK-33. The AK-47 design was also considered, but difficulty in procurement limited its viability. One indigenous design was offered by Yisrael Galil, creator of the Uzi submachine gun, but was ultimately found too complex and unreliable for adoption. Another indigenous design was offered by Yisrael Galil. His rifle was based on the Finnish RK-62. While the AK-47 and RK-62 fired the 7.62 x 39 mm Soviet round, Galil's rifle fired the smaller 5.56 x 45 mm M193 55 grain round. At the time, the United States was replacing France as Israel's main partner and weapons supplier. The U.S. would not supply Russian ammunition, so the design of the gun was altered to use the American cartridge. To accommodate the smaller round-The Kalashnikov-type rifle's 4.2 mm gas hole was reduced to 1.8 mm. Tests conducted from the end of the 1960s to the early 1970s led to Galil's rifle emerging as the winner. It was named the Galil after its designer and former formally adopted as the Israeli Army's next assault rifle in 1972 to replace the NatanFlayer. However, issuing of the Galil was delayed by the sudden onset of the Yom Kippur War in 1973. The Galil was the standard service rifle of Israel from the mid-1970s to the early 1990s. Around 1975, M16A1s from the U.S. military aid program began to arrive for Israel, which were slowly integrated into IDF service but were mostly regulated to NCOs and patrol units because of its lighter weight. By the turn of the century, both the ARM&R variants were phased out from standard issue and replaced by M4 and M16 variants. The Galil SAR was still kept in use by some rear-line services, including the Knesset Guard and the Armored Corps until the late 2000s. Design details. Operating mechanism. The Galil series of rifles are selective fire weapons operated by Kalashnikov pattern gas-driven piston system with no regulator. The weapon is locked with a rotary bolt with two locking lugs that lock into recesses milled into the receiver. When fired, a portion of the propellant gases are evacuated into the gas cylinder through a 1.8 mm port is drilled at a 30 degrees angle in the barrel, and a channel in the gas block. The high-pressure gases drive the piston rod rearward. During this rearward movement, a cam slot machined into the bolt carrier engages a cam pin on the bolt and rotates the bolt, unlocking the action. The arrangement of parts on the bolt carrier assembly provides for a degree of free travel, allowing gas pressure in the barrel to drop to a safe level before unlocking. To the immediate rear of the chrome-plated piston head is a notched ring which provides a reduced bearing surface and alleviates excess gas build-up. As the bolt carrier travels back, it compresses the return spring guided in a hollowed section of the bolt carrier, and the return energy contained in the spring drives the moving assembly back forward, stripping a new round from the magazine and locking the action. The cocking handle is attached to the bolt carrier on the right side of the receiver and reciprocates with each shot. The handle is bent upwards, allowing for operation with the left hand while the shooting hand remains on the pistol grip. The ejection of spent cases from the Galil is sometimes a violent action. Cases can be dented by the ejector and be thrown as much as 40 feet away from the rifle in some cases, depending on position. Features: the Galil is hammer-fired and has a trigger mechanism patterned after the trigger used in the American M1 Garand. The rifle's fire selector switch has 3 positions. SAR. The standard AK-47 style selector is retained on the right face of the receiver, and a dual thumb selector is present on the left face above the pistol grip for easier manipulation. Pushing the left selector to the rear position R provides semi-automatic fire. Pushing it to the middle position A produces fully automatic fire. Pushing the lever fully forward to S will activate the safety. Some models use a reverse linkage RAS mechanism that performs the opposite action. Pushing forward sets the rifle to repetition or automatic, and pulling rearward engages the safety. The Galil prototypes used a stamped and riveted sheet metal steel receiver, but due to the higher operating pressures of the 5.56 x 45 mm cartridge, this solution was discarded and the designers turned to a heavy milled forging. As a testament to its heritage, early prototypes were fabricated using Valmet RK62 receivers manufactured in Finland. All exterior metal surfaces are phosphated for corrosion resistance and then coated with a black enamel. The machined solid steel billet action avoided cracking problems the AK series had with steel stamped sheet actions, but this made the Galil heavier. The gas block, handguard retainers and folding stock mechanism components are cast pieces that are finish machined and accordingly fitted. The sighting arrangements are also entirely entirely cast and machined for greater durability. The only stamped components on the Galil are the magazine catch, trigger guard, dust cover and the magazines. The weapon is fitted with a high-impact plastic handguard and pistol grip and a side-folding tubular steel skeleton stock. The rifle can be used with a sound suppressor. The weapon features a bottle opener in the front handguard and wire cutter built into the bipod. The bottle opener feature was included to prevent damage to magazines being used to open bottles. Due to the large civilian reservist components of the IDF, use of magazines to open bottles was a common source of magazine lip damage with Uzi submachine guns. Wire cutters were included to reduce the time necessarily for IDF troops to cut down wire fences common to rural areas in Israel. Barrel. Early production models were supplied with barrels that had 6 right-hand grooves and a 305 mm rifling twist, while recent production models feature a 178 mm twist barrel with 6 right-hand grooves. The barrel has a slotted flash suppressor with 6 ports and can be used to launch rifle grenades or mount a bayonet lug attachment. Feeding. The Galil is fed from a curved steel box magazine with a 35-round capacity, a 50-round capacity or a special color-coded 12-round magazine blocked for use exclusively with ballistic cartridges, used to launch rifle grenades. The magazine is inserted front-end first in a similar manner to the AK family. An optional magazine adapter enables the use of M16 type SDANAG magazines. Some who have used the Galil arm with the 50-round magazine have noted that it is difficult to engage targets at elevated heights while firing on the ground in the prone position due to the magazine's extended length. Sights. The L-shaped rear sight has 2 apertures preset for firing at 0 to 300 meters and 300 to 500 meters respectively. The front post is fully adjustable for both windage and elevation 0 and is enclosed in a protective hood. Low-light flip-up front blade and rear sight elements have 3 self-luminous tritium capsules which are calibrated for 100 meters when deployed. When the rear night sight is flipped up for use, the rear aperture sights must be placed in an offset position intermediate between the 2 apertures. Certain variants have a receiver-mounted dovetail adapter that is used to mount various optical sights. Stock. The standard stock found on the Galil is a rough copy of the FN FAL paratrooper stock, with modifications for simpler production and ease of use. Unlike the FAL folding stock, the Galil uses no locking button and is operated entirely by a pin and spring pivoting mechanism to fold the stock. The L bracket on the stock portion is pressed down to low where the spring is fully compressed and the entire stock is allowed to pivot on the footstock hinge. The same operation is done for unfolding to the stock to the open position. The bracket and knuckle assemblies feature camming surfaces that allow the emergency unfolding of the stock by simply pulling the buttstock rearwards. However, this should generally be avoided as it will wear down the mechanism rapidly over time and lead to the stock wobbling in both positions. There exist 6 different types of Galil folding stock that were utilized over time on the Galil and R4 series of weapons. Wooden AK-47 type buttstocks were also offered by request, although none are known to have been used by any militaries and were mostly relegated to the civilian market. Contrary to popular belief, all Galil folding stocks are made of tubular aluminum like its FAL rendition. Steel was never used, as it would have added too much additional weight, and the aluminum stocks were more than durable for standard firing and rifle grenade usage. Variants are the standard rifle version, which is fitted with a high-impact plastic handguard and pistol grip. A side-folding tubular metal skeleton stock is fitted to all variants except the Galil Sniper. The SAR carbine variant, generally known as Galil, is configured with a shorter barrel. Due to the shorter barrel, a corresponding shorter piston and gas tube as well as a unique gas block are found on the SAR. The SAR variants, or the longest service life in the IDF, being in use with the Armored Corps until the late 2000s. The ARM light machine gun variant is additionally equipped with a carrying handle, folding bipod and a larger wooden handguard. The wooden handguard remains cooler during sustained automatic fire and has grooves for bipod storage. When folded, the bipod's legs form a speed chute for rapid magazine insertion. The bipod will form a wire cutter and the rear handguard ferrule, which retains the bipod legs, can be used to open bottles by design, in order to prevent soldiers using magazine lips for this purpose which damaged them. The most recent addition to the Galil family of weapons is the compact carbine, which retains the internal features of the original Galil with a completely new frame, operating system and an even shorter barrel. Introduced to the public at the Second International Defense Industry Exhibition in Poland in 1994, the weapon was developed for use with the Army and Police Special Units, vehicle crews, Army staff, Special Operations personnel and airborne infantry. The MOD, or the Micro Galil, is a reduced-size version of the Galil SAR, weighing 2.98 kilograms empty. Compared to the original carbine, the MA has a shortened barrel, receiver, piston, gas tube and foregrip. The firearm is fed from a 35-round steel magazine which can be clipped together to increase reload speed. The MA has the same rate of fire as other 5.56mm Galil models. An optional magazine adapter inserted inside the magazine well allows the use of standard 20 and 30-round M16 magazines. The lever safety and fire selector has 4 settings: S. Weapon is safe, A. Automatic fire, B. 3-round burst, R. Semi-automatic mode. The barrel has a multifunction muzzle device. The MA is equipped with a folding tubular aluminum stock and a flip aperture sight with 2 settings, 0 to 300 meters and beyond 300 meters. The MA can also be equipped with a night vision device, a daytime optical sight, low light sights with tritium illuminated dots, a vertical forward grip with integrated laser pointer, silencer and a nylon sling. Upon request, the weapon can be supplied with a bolt catch, plastic magazines weighing 0.164 kilograms or an enlarged trigger guard for use with gloves. The MA has undergone several changes over time, and it is worth noting that it may also be found with a polymer-coated aluminum stock or an all-polymer stock. The Model 699 is available with a 267mm barrel and optional left-side charging handle which is welded onto the left side of the bolt carrier and protrudes through a slot cut in the receiver cover that is covered by a spring-loaded cover while the bolt carrier is forward. 7.62mm variants. The 7.62mm Galil is derived from the 5.56mm base version. The rifle retains the general design layout and method of operation of the 5.56mm variant. In 7.62mm the Galil is available in several different configurations, including a SAR carbine, full-size AR rifle and arm light machine gun. These weapons are fed from 25-round box magazines. The barrel has 4 right-hand grooves with a 305 mm rifling twist rate. Galats. The 7.62 mm Galil sniper is a derivative of the arm that is used in conjunction with high-quality 7.62 x 51 mm NATO ammunition for consistent accuracy. The precision rifle is a semi-automatic only rifle with a similar operating system to other Galil variants, but optimized for accuracy. The rifle is fed from a 25-round box magazine. It uses a heavy profile match barrel that is heavier than that used on other variants. It is fitted with a multifunctional muzzle device, which acts as both a flash suppressor and a muzzle brake. It can be replaced with a sound suppressor, which requires the use of subsonic ammunition for maximum effectiveness. The weapon was modified with a 2-stage trigger mechanism with an adjustable pull force, a wooden buttstock that folds to the right side of the weapon, and a heavy-duty bipod mounted to the forward base of the receiver housing that folds beneath the handguard when not in use. The buttstock is fully adjustable in length and height and features a variable height sheet riser. The rifle comes with mechanical iron sights and an adapter used to mount a telescopic day sight or a night sight. The mount is quick detachable and capable of retaining zero after remounting. The precision rifle is stored in a rugged transport case that comes with an optical sight, mount, filters, 2 slings and a cleaning kit. Recent production models feature synthetic plastic furniture and a skeletonized metal stock. The Galats was first introduced in 1983. The State Route 99 is a modernized version of the Galats featuring an adjustable skeleton stock instead of a wooden stock, synthetic handguard, and a synthetic pistol grip. It is somewhat less rugged, but more ergonomic. Other variants: Magal, a law enforcement carbine variant of the Galil, are chambered in .30 carbine. It uses the same 15 and 30 round magazines as the M1 carbine. Marksman assault rifle Mark Chapter 1 vs 5.56 mm designated marksman rifle introduced in 1996. Has a scope and padded stock. Golani, a civilian version with a new production-milled semi-automatic receiver built in the United States. All other components are original IMI Galil production parts. Galil 8, the new generation of the Galil rifle. It has 3 versions chambered for 5.56 mm NATO, 7.62 mm Soviet M43 and 7.62 mm NATO. It has 5 Picatinny rails for mounting optical devices and accessories, and is lighter and more accurate than past generation Galils. It can be stripped without any tools. South African variants. The Vector R4 is a South African variant of the Galil arm assault rifle with several modifications. Notably, both the stock and magazine are made of a high-strength polymer, and the stock was lengthened, adapting the weapon for the average South African soldier. The South African Navy, South African Air Force and South African Police Service adopted a short carbine version of the 5.56 mm Galil SAR, which was licensed manufactured as the R5. The R5, when compared to the larger R4, has a barrel that is 130 mm shorter, together with a shorter gas system and handguard. It also lacks a bipod, and the flash hider does not support rifle grenades. In the 1990s, an even more compact personal defense weapon variant of the R5 was developed for armored vehicle crews, designated the R6, which has a further reduced barrel and a shortened gas cylinder and piston assembly. Littleton Engineers worker Denel Land Systems also introduced a line of semi-automatic automatic variants of the R4, R5 and R6 called the LM4, LM5 and LM6 respectively, built for civilian and law enforcement users. Bolivia, Botswana, Brazil. The Policia Militar do Estado de Pará ordered 555 Magal carbines in 2001. Cameroon, issued to Presidential Guard units. Chilean Air Force arm variants. Chilean IMI Galil Ace Model 23, replacing some of the SIG FAMAE rifles. Investigations Police of Chile ERTA Tactical Response SWAT Team, and regular units. Colombia, standard issue rifle. Produced under license by NGMOR. Also adopted the Galil Ace rifle by the middle of 2010, produced by NGMOR. FARC rebels use captured examples against the Colombian Armed Forces. Costa Rica, Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Estonia uses 5.56mm versions of the Galil Upsar arm and the 7.62mm Galil Sniper. Fiji, Georgia uses GALATZ Sniper and Micro Galil assault rifles. Guatemala, 3000 Ace. Haiti, Honduras. The Galil was adopted in the late 1970s by the Honduran Army, until it was replaced by the American-made M16A1 through U.S. military aid in the 1980s. The Galils were then transferred to the Honduran National Police, where they are still in use. In 2011, the Honduran government approved the purchase of the Galil Ace-21 assault rifle for use by the Army and Air Force. The Galil Ace made its first public appearance on September 15, 2013 in the hands of the new unit PMOP. Indonesia, Commando Pasukan Katik Tactical Diver Group and Commando Pasukan Khusus Special Forces Group. Israel Defense Forces and Knesset Guard. Italy, the Italian firearms manufacturing firm Vincenzo Bernadelli S.R.L. manufactured under license quantities of the Galil assault rifle in two different models for governmental use in the 1980s. The Bernadelli Mod. 377 VB Street assault rifle was an outright clone of the Galil arm variant, while the Bernadelli Mod. 378 VB Senior assault carbine was a modified clone of the Galil SAR with a different magazine well that accepted SDANAG magazines. Much similar in concept and look to the above-mentioned optional magazine adapter currently available for the Israeli-made models, except that the Bernadelli VB Senior could be manufactured with permanent SDANAG magazine well modification on demand. The rifles competed to the trial for the adoption of a new 5.56 x 45mm NATO caliber rifle, but lost to the Beretta 70/90th assault weapons system. However, as of today, both models result by official schedules to be in the inventories of the Italian National Police, and are known to be deployed with the NOCS team. Lesotho, Mexico, Secretaría de Seguridad Pública. Mongolia, Myanmar, made with assistance from Israeli weapons specialists as the MA series. Nepal, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay. NGMOR made Galils for the Fuerzas de Operaciones de Policías Especiales Senad and main rifle of the Paraguayan police. Peru, Philippines, Portugal, 5.56mm R and ARM versions used by the Portuguese Army Airborne Infantry. Rwanda, South Africa, standard assault rifle of the South African National Defence Force, produced under license in a modified form as the R4 by Denel Land Systems. Swaziland, Tanzania, MA version seen in use by Tanzanian Special Forces in the Congo. Thailand, used in small numbers in Department of Corrections. Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Regiment uses this weapon as its standard issue, also used in conjunction with the FN FAL and M16. Galil is also used but in limited numbers. Uganda. This type of weapon is used by the Chieftaincy of Military Intelligence, and by the Presidential Guard Brigade, a division of the Special Forces Command, all within the Uganda People's Defense Force. Ukraine. Sniper variant is used by the Omega Special Forces Group. Vietnam uses Galil R and Galil Sniper.